Okay, so let's take a look at how you can set up AMD compute instance in Oracle Cloud. So what we will do is we will go to Oracle Cloud, then we will select the compute instance, and in compute instance you get an option to create an instance. As you can see, I already terminated some of the previously tested instance which had one CPU, 8 GB memory, right, and also had fault domain, right. So what if I want to create AMD instance, right? So click on create instance, and here I will name this instance something. So let's say AMD compute, right? So if we type in AMD compute, we create the compartment, and if we happen to select the availability, our own region gives us always free option. If you want to change to something else, then that may not be free for you, right? Here it already selected one CPU 1 GB for me with Oracle Linux 8 as its choice. So if I select this, and here you have option to change image, right? So let's assume that if I switch over to say Ubuntu or even SUSE, right? Even SUSE has some free images, OpenSUSE specifically, so it should be there, but currently it seems like free eligible are not here. There is also Alma Linux you can search through, but notice that none of them say it's always free, right? So the resources required for running those needs to be in always free eligible, right? So if we check other like Rocky Linux, let's take a look at some of them. None of them are available for free, right? Then comes Ubuntu. So we have like option to choose from Oracle Linux and Ubuntu. All of the Ubuntu's resources should be free, right? So here you have like minimal option, right, which is available for free. So I will pick that one up, and also I picked 2204 with February's image. I will select that, and here let me also show you AMD's instance with standard E21 micro, 1 CPU, 1 GB memory, right? So if I go for changing this, let's say if I want something like any other shape, then here you can notice that it doesn't let me pick any which is free, right? So for AMD, this is maximum you can go with. So processor is 2 gigahertz, and it should be good enough for most of your operations, right? So 1 CPU and 1 GB memory, right, and security supported. So we will select the shape, right? Now the next part is we have to check for networking. So now Oracle will do the work for you. If you already created VCN, that should be included. Same with subnet and launch, right? And other details are already pre-filled. Now comes the SSH part. Now here you can see you have option to generate a key pair, and here you have both public key that will be downloaded, and we have private key that also will be downloaded. So both of them downloaded here. We are now good to go. Alternate option is to upload the public key files, then paste public key, right? So for that you can make use of PuTTY and generate the public and private keys, and then upload their key files or paste the key values accordingly, right? Then there is a boot volume. You can see that it is detachable device that contains the image used to boot the compute instance, right? Here you can see you can specify that, or also use encryption and encrypt this volume with the key that you manage. So the key that we used will be used for encrypting this volume. So I'm not going to mess with encryption here because often it leads to a lot of headache just in case our SSH key for some reason gets lost, right? So what we can do from this point onwards is we can also check advanced option of management, available configuration, and Oracle Cloud Agent, right? So these things I'm letting on default, right? So now scroll and click on create. Okay, so following fields have errors. So let's take a look at that. And you can see you have public subnet between all of this. So we can choose. So here, if you are not sure whether you need a public address, you can always assign later, right? So let's take a look at what else is missing. We have our VCN as well. Oracle just created one for us, and here my subnet as well, right? Already downloaded the keys. Hopefully everything is taken care of and I don't have to go back again. So I will click on create. So at least one such minimum instance is allowed by Oracle Cloud. I can create one more with AMD, and there is also one instance with Ampere that is allowed in free category. Right, so we will wait for it to provision. Alternatively, what you can do is you can see that you have Ubuntu name along with your public IP address, right? And you will also notice the image, right? So from here you can do those operations like start, stop, reboot, right? And here you can see it is now running, right? Now in order to connect to this particular instance, what I can do, I can check the desktop for the files, SSH key, right? Now if I go to the place where I want those keys to be stored, so I will place them over there. So let's see, I choose my keys to be located here. Can also create cloud keys, right? So here for that reason I will create one more. So let's see, compute AMD1 is my instance. So what I will do is I will copy this again and go inside this particular folder and skip the folder that just accidentally copied. Now what I can do is I will remember this path, then go to portable, click PuTTY generator and click on conversions, right? Click import key and then I will go for portables and then cloud keys, compute AMD1, and then I will get the private key here. So it will generate your public key as well. Based on that, I can save private key. It will ask you for the same. So here I will add, let's see, in compute AMD1 as ppk file. I will save that. Next I will also save public key, right, which is compute amd1.pub. Save it. So both things saved. I can close this. Now I can go to PuTTY, right? Now here I will delete anything that no longer is in use, right? So let's close everything. Now I will pick the IP address, which is public IP address, copy that, go back to PuTTY, paste it, then go to connection, SSH, then auth, credentials. So now here I will have to pick the private key, right? Then I will go to cloud keys, compute AMD1, pick that ppk file, right? Then I can just go to that particular area. Right now the next thing would be to, let's say I will create session name compute1 and save it. Right now one more thing I didn't cover is connection related data. Like here you can see auto login username. Here we have username as Ubuntu, so we have our Ubuntu name in the prompt. Right, go back to session, then save it. Right now that we have everything, I can click on open. Here you will see that host key is not cached for this server, right? So you have no guarantee that computer will think with that. Okay, so accept and you are connected. As you can see, it is showing you Ubuntu name and AMD compute name because that's what I have given it. Now I can use lsb underscore release dash a and it will show me that I'm using Ubuntu 2204 LTS. Right, it's minimal but you can get the idea. Right, here you can see the minimal image that we have chosen, and so it appears in the terminal as well. Right, so we managed to connect to this compute instance and we have Ubuntu running. Right, so if we choose to use exit, it will exit our SSH session. Right, so we are now terminated out of that connection, and this was the process to create one of the free compute instance that will be always free and available in free tier of Oracle Cloud.